Hey guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. Well, Matthew, it's your turn, my friend. I know this has been a very, very long time in coming for you. Little quick starter notes before we get any started. You asked for a red fan. I'm going to add some red LEDs to the inside of this thing, and I'm going to make the inside of the amp glow red for you. Just not shown here yet. But we'll get you going here in just a minute. So Matthew, you ordered a Toshiba, all Toshiba box, 1 drive and 4. And we built it for you. Now guys, we know that this is coming to an end, right? The Toshiba transistors. We have to embrace that fact. The price is at $80 a part now. Now I know there's a couple people out there that are uber rich and they can afford that, but we're not going to see a lot of these Toshiba based boxes coming out anymore. It's like the 48 pill that I put out at the end of the year. That's probably going to be the last 2879 big transistor new build like that you're going to see. I mean, there might be somebody out there building a 32 or maybe somebody building a 64, but they're going to become very rare. We've got the HG component that is now fully online and fully tested, and the newer devices are getting ready to come out with do more than the Toshiba does for power now. Toshiba has been at the top of the pile for 50 years. 45, 50 years. But it's time to start moving forward. $80 parts versus $25 or $30 or $40 parts, whatever. I mean, you can't compete. You just can't compete. So the quality of the boxes is actually going to go up because they're going to see more performance out of the amplifiers going into the future. I mean, if we can look out to where the Earth curves away to the horizon, we can see the ship of coming news that when you have a company that's progressively active trying to get a device to run better for everybody involved, yeah, they're going to take the market share over, because the guys that stopped doing research 40-something years ago, they're going to get replaced. So let me run around a band. We're going to show you what we're running. We got the little Cobra 29 from D-Rail, Wolfman CB Shop. The reason we're using this radio today is because I want to show how much bird that we can build with the proper amount of radio input. Radio is super important. Your radio is what determines what you're going to get downline. So when I use my Cobra 20 or my RCI 2950 that I've got turned down that does about 25 watts, it only puts out about 5 or 7 bird watts. And that's all determined by audio. We've covered this in multiple other videos. When I use that radio, we don't see the big numbers here that we're going to see today. And we're going to see some big numbers, especially for a 14 volt based device. Radio is really important on how the amplifier is going to operate. The radio is truly what dictates these meters. It shows you a difference in peak, and it also shows you a different number in average. It's like I can hook up that radio and get maybe about 75 more peak watts out of this box, but the bird numbers are way down. So we're going to run the D-Rail Wolfman radio today, which is an insane radio. Down here we got a 50 watt element in reverse and a 3-foot hunk of coax. Now I tune all of my boxes to operate with 3-foot jumpers. So 3, 6, 9, 12, so on and so on and so on. That's pretty much the measurement standard that everybody's gone to. With Foxy coming online, you guys, we have to pay attention to what you're doing with your coaxes in the mobile. It makes a huge difference. A coax is part of the antenna network. It's alive. It's functioning. Oh, see, now look. Even though I closed 2 hours ago, the phone's still ringing. Coax is live. It's part of the circuit. And your length of coax that goes from your amplifier to your radio makes a huge difference. And what's super critical is the antenna to the amplifier. Now the Foxy built boxes and the Dominators and the Skullcrackers and the old school amps, they run awesome. But you've got to understand that they have coax internally inside the amplifier. And so that the jumper that comes from the back of the amplifier to the antenna, or the jumper that goes from the driver to the big box, or from the radio to the driver, is going to be different in length. So what I'm trying to say is to, let's see, who am I building this for? Oh yeah. Mr. W. Mr. M. This thing needs a 3-foot jumper. Intervals of 3. So 1, 3, 6, 9, 12. And you're good to go. And then course 18, depending on what you've got for an antenna. So 5-watt slug in reverse back from the Bird 10,000 watt dummy load. 5-watt or 1,000 watt slug going forward in average. 1,000 watt slug going forward in PEP. And this is in peak. That was an average, peak, average, peak, average. So we're on 14 volts. 14 volts here, 14 volts on the radio. So first, let's turn the amplifier off. Let's turn that around so it's reading forward, because the RF is flowing this direction. Okay. Show you what we're doing for input drive. About 12 Bird, right? Show you the pass-through tune. Audio. Audio. Guarantee you it's way less than a watt. When I check it up here, the input SWR is, or the reflect just goes, the needle barely even wiggles. So, on that note, let's go over here and take a look and see what we get out of it for numbers. Seen about 600 Bird from a 200 watt resting carrier to over 1,000 watts in peak envelope power. 600 Bird. Here's our input reflect once again. Output power. Nice and steady. So I got to add some red LEDs to the inside of this case. And I'm going to put some red LED strip down over here on this side, blowing up at the fan. So it's going to glow a nice soft red. I didn't want to use the red clear fans that I got. The RPMs are a little bit slow on that. And I found that it bleeds so much red light back into the cab. If you're trying to drive, it's a distraction. So this is just going to be a nice soft red. On that, I'm done. I got to move on to the next thing. I got a bunch of projects that I'm working on right now. I'm working on 5 other amplifiers that I started yesterday alone. I started on this one the middle of last week, and it's going to ship tomorrow. I'm back, man. My finger, my thumb and my pointer finger, we're back at 100%. And what that means is I can finally work at full pace again. So I don't feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I've just been locked up in quicksand and couldn't get nothing done. I'm proud, and I'm happy, and I'm glad that everything's running. There you go, brother. 1 driving 4. And it's working perfectly. Gentlemen, my name is BBI. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. Come check us out on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. And if you're watching one of my videos for the very first time, please do me a favor and just click subscribe. Alright guys, I gots to go. Your friend from the Northwest and Mr. Black Productions says thank you. We'll see you. Bump bump.